Shamil Adesanya.
28-0!
McGregor announcing
About a guy who is
Hey, what's up my homies, Lay here. So it's a pay-per-view, right? And I had an idea. Instead of saying like, this one's a good matchup, this one's a fire matchup, don't miss this one. And it's a degenerate idea, it really is. But every time it's a fire matchup, I'm just gonna hit the glass. Right? I'm just gonna hit the glass, man. I know 50% of people right now are thinking, Lay, what are you doing, bro? And the other 50% are just like, yeah, let's go, let's hit the glass. But yeah, man, UFC 266, guys. Let's jump straight into it, man. Let's go. So, guys, like I said, every time it's a fire matchup, I'm going to hit the glass. If you had to pick, like, over or under 7 for fire matchups, what would you do? Would you go under or over? So, we've got Omar Morales taking on Johnathan Pearce. And I'm going to start with one. Guys, the reason why I'm going to hit the glass to start the card, Omar Morales is a lifelong kickboxer and Johnathan Pearce is pretty tough, man. This guy's tough as nails. You know, most people would probably say this one isn't exactly a fire matchup and I'm just getting a bit excited. But yeah, I think this one, man, it could start the night off with some fireworks. So yeah, man, Omar Morales, this guy got to the UFC by the Contender Series. Displayed a really nice low kick on that show too. He's done pretty well in the UFC, man. I mean, the only time he hasn't really looked good, which was against Chikadze. There's no shame in losing that matchup either. You know, Chikadze's going to hit you with a bunch of kicks and eventually you're going to fall into that trap. Now, Johnathan Pearce isn't anything like a Chikadze. This guy's looking to take you down. You know, you look at what he done to Kai Kamaka. You know, took him to the mat, got that back mount position, and just got a ground and pound stoppage. So that's what you've got here. You've got a lifelong kickboxer in Omar Morales taking on an up-and-coming guy who's looking to grapple. Yeah, really, really decent matchup. If the fight is kept standing, I expect Omar to land a low kick over and over. I'm going to go with the striker, Omar Morales. Purely because if he's off the mat, I see him landing that low kick time and time again. And just making the story of the fight striking, right? You're watching this matchup and you're thinking the striking of Omar looks awesome. Powerful. Of course, the flip side is you're thinking Johnathan Pearce looks strong on top, right? But yeah, I'll start with Omar Morales. My numbers, I'd put Omar around minus 130, minus 140. And we've got Omar Morales minus 150, Johnathan Pearce plus 120. So yeah, the bookies do have the right favourite in my opinion. Maybe some money's going to come in on the plus 120, Johnathan Pearce. But we'll see, man. My pick is going to be Omar Morales. Alright, we're not going to hit the glass for this one. Matt Semelsberger taking on Martin Sano. Guys, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to waste much time on this matchup. Why is this matchup happening? You know, Matt Semelsberger lost to Chaos Williams a couple months ago. If you said to me his next opponent would be a guy who hasn't fought in nearly 5 years, I'd say you're crazy. But yeah, that's what we've got here. We've got a guy named Martin Sano, who seems to be in the same type of circle as Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz. So maybe that's why we've got him on this card. But man, just it makes no sense. You know, Matt Semelsberger, if you lose this matchup, bro, it's on the same level as like Montel Jackson losing or Arman Sarukian losing. And of course, we don't see Matt Semelsberger as like a prospect in the UFC. We don't see him as a guy who maybe can be a champion. Not to say that he can't, but as a fan of the sport, we don't really regard Matt Semelsberger as a highly touted prospect. But the point I'm making is he shouldn't be losing to Martin Sano, right? If Matt Semelsberger loses this one, it's a real bad time for him. Whether it's striking, grappling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, you name the art, I think Matt Semelsberger should be out competing Martin Sano there. You know, anywhere it goes, any type of fight you get, Matt Semelsberger should win this one. And to be honest, man, he probably should get a stoppage too. So yeah, I'll take Matt Semelsberger inside the distance. My numbers, man, I have to be harsh. I'm going to put Matt Semelsberger minus 400. And that's exactly what we've got. We've got Matt Semelsberger minus 350 up to minus 4. Even going up to minus 500 on some books. Yeah, I think it would be crazy if Matt lost this one. It's the pick I have to make. Now, I wouldn't originally call this one a fire matchup and I wouldn't hit the glass or spark up for it. But Nick Maximov is a high-level jiu-jitsu player and he's with that Nick Diaz camp. And all of those guys smoke weed, so yeah, I'm going to say it's a fire matchup. I'm going to hit the glass for this one. Alright, so Nick Maximov, like I said, this guy is all about the jiu-jitsu life. He wants you on the mat. Now, who can remember what happened to Karl Roberson in his last matchup? He got heel hooked by Brendan Allen, which is crazy too, because if I remember rightly, he even initiated the takedown or even went for the heel first. You shouldn't be engaging in any type of jiu-jitsu if you're Karl Roberson. I know he has a submission win against Roman Kopylov and even a submission win against Darren Stewart. But still, you know, Karl Roberson is primarily a kickboxer. So that's what he wants to do in this matchup. He doesn't want to be grappling with Nick Maximov. He wants to be kickboxing, right? So you could say striker versus grappler. I know in mixed martial arts, these guys have more than one style. You know, it's a mixed. But that's really what this one is, right? Nick Maximov wants to take down Karl Roberson and choke him out, break his arm, twist his heel. Karl Roberson wants to basically break the chin of Nick Maximov, kick the legs, just avoid grappling. My prediction, I'm not going to bet on this one either way, but my prediction's going to be Nick Maximov. I'm going to say he takes down Karl Roberson round 1, round 2, and he finds a choke. But man, you know, UFC debut, Karl Roberson has a bit of experience, hasn't got the best fight IQ in the world. You know, he could stay on the feet and win this one. And that's exactly why I'm not going to be betting it. But yeah, I'll take Nick Maximov. My numbers, I'll keep them, you know, straight down the middle. I'll go minus 110 each side. And the actual numbers on this one, we've got minus 115 on both sides. So yeah, man, the bookies are saying it again. Make a pick if you dare. Alright guys, we've got Manon Fiorot taking on Mayra Silva. Now, if anyone went with the over 7 fire matchups, you're looking great. Right, the reason why I sparked up for that one, Manon Fiorot has been nothing but super vicious. Yeah, super vicious, super violent. Mayra Silva kind of considered the same thing. Before I saw Manon Fiorot, I would have said Mayra Silva is like a vicious, violent girl. But there's levels to being a vicious, violent girl, right? And I think you put Manon Fiorot at the very top. She is just so violent. You know, she's using this Muay Thai karate style and she's an elite striker. Dangerous. Now, if you're gonna ask me who has the better grappling, who has the better jiu-jitsu, my answer is gonna be Silva. But not like clinching, body locks, singles to doubles. I wouldn't say she's a better all-round grappler. I would say the place Mayra Silva is better in the grappling is simply being in a jiu-jitsu like scenario. So if she's got full guard or if she can work some type of arm bar, right? But if you're going to look at who has maybe the better chances of taking the fight to the mat using wrestling, I would say the answer is Manon Fiorot. I think the big difference in this matchup is the punching power, just the violence on the feet. I give that to Manon Fiorot. And that's not to say that Mayra Silva isn't a nasty girl. You know, she's going to throw the low kick. She's going to try to take your head off. And that's why it's a fire matchup in my opinion. Both of these girls are cut from the same cloth. I just think Manon Fiorot, her cloth is a little bit more elite. You know, her violence is so nasty. So that's going to be my prediction. Is she going to get a stoppage against Mayra Silva? It's difficult to say. My numbers, I'd put Manon, I'd put her around the -200. Maybe a little higher, -220. And the actual numbers on Manon Fiorot, -250, -275. Yeah, a lot of people liking her, man. You know, how many people have watched Manon Fiorot in the UFC and said, I don't really like this girl? You know, nobody has said that. Anybody who's seen this girl inside the octagon, you've watched her and said, man, this girl's, she's going to the top. She's going to get better and better. This girl's nasty. So it's understandable why the line is -250, -275. Mayra Silva, she's down, she's game. She's going to try and battle with Manon Fiorot, and that's why it's a fire matchup. My pick's going to be Manon Fiorot. Alright guys, we've got Uros Medic taking on Jalin Turner. Kind of regret this game a little bit, man, because I'm getting really baked. But this is a fire matchup, guys. It really is a fire matchup. The reason why this one's a fire matchup, Uros Medic is an up-and-coming guy. He's young. Jalin Turner is an up-and-coming guy. He's young. 28 years old, 26 years old, but I'm talking young in fight terms, right? You know, you look at what Medic done to Jalin Cruz. You know, flying knee into an uppercut, a barrage of punches, then into ground and pound where he just wouldn't let Jalin off the hook. You know, it's a nasty way to introduce yourself in the UFC, right? You show up, make your UFC debut in the smaller octagon, and you say to everyone, hey, watch this. Watch what I'm about to do. Now, is he going to do that against Jalin Turner? This guy is way higher up the pecking order above Jalin Cruz. And that's exactly why it's a fire matchup. You've got two up-and-coming guys, and they're both looking to make statements. Now, I know Vicente Luque badly knocked out Jalin Turner, and Matt Frivola out-wrestled him. Uros Medic hasn't proven that he's got the wrestling of Matt Frivola. He hasn't proven that he can wrestle like that, right? And he isn't knocking guys dead the way Vicente Luque can. So when you think of good opponents for Jalin Turner, or matchups where he can prove how good he is or his potential in the sport, you're thinking of up-and-coming guys around the same area, right? 7-0 taking on 10-5. Uros Medic is 6'1". Jalin Turner is 6'3". You know, this is, man, you've got two wiry strikers. Oh man, something's going to happen. I can't see this one going 15 minutes, whether it's Jalin Turner knocking out Uros Medic or finding a club and sub, or whether it's Uros Medic having another big statement, another crazy moment. I cannot see this matchup going 15 minutes. You know, that's basically my prediction on this one, guys. I'm going to give you my actual prediction, but that's my real prediction. You know, I think Medic is going to get hurt or Jalin Turner's going to get hurt. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure which one it's going to be, but I know something's going to happen. You know, you're not going to go to the kitchen to get a drink during this fight. You're going to be watching thinking this is crazy. It's not going to be 15 minutes. It's going to be someone is making a statement. My prediction's going to be Uros Medic makes that statement. Most likely a round 1, statement 2. I can't see this one going 15 minutes. It's a crazy matchup. My numbers, guys, I've got to keep them close. I would put Medic around -130. Put Jalin Turner +100. And that's basically what you've got, man. You've got Medic -120. Jalin Turner +105. +100. Yeah, how do you call it, man? You know Jalin Turner can rock up and just show, yo, Medic, bro, you're not ready. You know, you think you're going to come in like you did against Jalin Cruz? I'm going to clip ya. I'm going to sub ya. Or you can have Medic show up again, man, get crazy in there, and you don't know what's going to happen. You know, it only takes one punch from either of these guys. And I think it's coming. In round 1 or round 2, this is a good one. Alright, we've got Roxanne Modafferi taking on Taylor Santos. Now, I'm not going to hit the glass for this one. This one is not a fire matchup. And I'm kind of grateful that it's not a fire matchup because I'm super baked, man. So I needed a little break. Yeah, guys, most of you who are fans of the UFC, hardcore fans of the UFC, you understand already what this matchup is. It's potentially a passing of the torch, or it's going to be the veteran, the old-timer, the happy warrior, Roxanne Modafferi, giving Taylor Santos that lesson. And the lesson she wants to teach inside the octagon is the same lesson every time. The lesson is wrestling into jiu-jitsu. Submission wrestling. No-gi jiu-jitsu is what Roxanne Modafferi wants to do. And on top of that, she will hurt you with some ground strikes too. She's looking to take down Taylor Santos. She wants to just grapple. Now, I'm not exactly confident saying that Roxanne Modafferi is going to be able to, and I'm not confident saying she's not. You know, you kind of bet against Roxanne and you get burnt. And then you try to bet on her when you think she can take down the opponent, and then she just doesn't. Roxanne Modafferi, in my opinion, is a fighter you don't want to bet against and you don't want to bet on. Maybe if you bet on her every time, you know, you're going to cash some underdog tickets. You know, she's got all the experience in the world. She knows how to beat Taylor Santos. But at nearly 40 years old, man, you can't stop the aging process. You know, she's just aging, man. She's older. She's got all the experience. But if she can't take down Taylor Santos, I can't see her winning the striking. So yeah, man, it's one or the other. I do like Roxanne Modafferi, man. I like that she's a nerd. I like that she's passionate. I'm gonna go against Roxanne Modafferi. I'm not gonna bet against her though. There's no way I bet against her. And if she can prove me wrong, you know, I'll be happy to see her teach another grappling lesson inside the octagon. But yeah, I have to take Taylor Santos. You know, younger. She's up and coming. And if she can avoid the mat, yeah, she wins this one. My numbers, I would put Taylor Santos around minus 170. And the actual numbers, we've got Santos minus 400. You know, it's the bookies are just saying, yo, go on, do it. Bet on Modafferi. Do it. All right, my homies. Shamil Abdurakhimov taking on Chris Daukaus. Now, I'm thinking, is this a fire matchup? Should I contribute to the over 7 fire matchups with the glass hit? No, I'm not going to do that. And the reason why I'm not going to do that, I've broken this fight down like 2 times already. You know, this fight, it needs to get to the octagon, right? So I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. It's the same thing that I've said twice already on this channel. Chris Daukaus is a really, really decent boxer. He's quick and he has a lot of momentum, right? He's getting these stoppages, round 1 stoppages. He's looking great. Shamil Abdurakhimov does have more experience inside the UFC. But it's, again, one or the other, man. Shamil Abdurakhimov needs to take down Chris Daukaus. There's no way that he's going to be able to box with Chris Daukaus. It's simply use that Russian grappling. And if he doesn't, it's game over. Chris Daukaus gets another TKO stoppage. My numbers on this fight, guys, I'm going to go minus 250 on Chris Daukaus. Simply because he's had more time to prepare. Now, some people may say Shamil Abdurakhimov has also had more time to prepare. But to those of you that say that, I would say it's maybe better to have more time preparing for a wrestler than what it is to try and become a boxer. You know, Chris Daukaus is going to be drilling a lot of takedown defense. Shamil Abdurakhimov, on the flip side, should be drilling some type of boxing. But I think it's harder to become a boxer than it is a wrestler, in my opinion. You know, the jab, the 1-2s, you know, just the way you slip punches. All of this is way more of a science. You know, and I'm not downplaying wrestling. I'm not saying wrestling's easy. It's by far more taxing than boxing. You get way more tired wrestling than you do boxing. But I still think it's technically easier to become a wrestler. And again, it's not a downplay on wrestling. I enjoy to watch wrestling and jiu-jitsu inside the octagon. But that's going to be my prediction, guys. I'll take Chris Daukaus minus 250. And the actual numbers, we've got Chris Daukaus minus 170 up to minus 200. You know, you never really want to bet against a Russian wrestler. It's just not a smart thing to do. But in this case, yeah, I probably will be. Yeah, I'm going to take Chris Daukaus in this one. Alright guys, we've got Dan Hooker taking on Nasrat Haqparast. Now if anyone didn't catch the start of this breakdown, I said at the start I would spark up every time it's a fire matchup. And then I went on to say, you know, will it be over or under for fire matchups? Like over or under 7? There's no way that I can't get away contributing to the over here. I have to spark up for this one. Dan Hooker and Nasrat. Oh man. This might be the most toasted I've ever gotten on a UFC breakdown. Alright man, I hope Dan Hooker can get to Las Vegas. I hope he can sort his visa and all of that. Because I want to see this matchup, man. You know, Dan Hooker and Nasrat. Oh my goodness. One of the main reasons why I want to see this one, Dan Hooker is on a 2-fight losing streak. And with, you know, there's no disrespect. I'm not saying, you know, he needs to win. It's 100% needs to win. But the reason why I'm excited, it's almost like Dan Hooker is, you know, he's annoyed, right? He's angry. And he's already a super violent guy. Imagine a Dan Hooker that's annoyed and pissed off. That's what we're going to get here. And I'm quite worried for Nasrat. I'm worried, I really am. Now I saw Nasrat compete live in Germany. He was taking on Mark Diakisi and he just walked him down. You know, he really took advantage of Mark Diakisi. But I can't see for the life of me, I cannot see him walking down Dan Hooker. There's just no way that he's going to walk down Dan Hooker. I know Michael Chandler was able to keep Dan Hooker on the outside, and then he went to the body and then the head, which was a beautiful knockdown, by the way, really beautiful. I cannot see Nasrat keeping Dan Hooker on the outside. I think Dan Hooker's going to be the guy walking down the opponent. If I'm Nasrat, I'm choosing to grapple. You know, I'm not choosing to compete in the striking with Dan Hooker. You know, unless Nasrat thinks he can compete like Dustin Poirier, compete like Michael Chandler. Unless he can do that, man, he has to grapple. He has to take down Dan Hooker. And Dan Hooker has pretty solid takedown defense. And if he is taken to the mat, City Kickboxing is going to have him working back to his feet. So yeah, man, I'm going to go with the hangman, Dan Hooker. I think he's too much for Nasrat. My numbers on this one, I'll put Dan Hooker around minus 200. But the actual numbers, we've got Dan Hooker minus 150 up to minus 180. Yeah, it kind of makes sense on that one. I'm going to take Dan Hooker. Alright, my homies, we've got Marlon Moraes taking on Merab Dvalishvili. Oh my goodness. Alright, so Marlon Moraes, man, you know, this guy is a Muay Thai fighter, right? When you think of his style, it's Muay Thai. He does have one submission win, which came against Rafael Assunção, but that was like a club and sub, right? He didn't get the submission on the mat. He got the submission standing, and then he pulled the submission to the mat. Now, the 2 times that he has gone the distance, no, 3 times, sorry. All 3 of his matchups have been split decisions. So yeah, kind of shows that if he goes to full 15, it's always close. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why it's close most of the time when Marlon Moraes goes to full 15, one of the reasons is because his cardio isn't great. His cardio, you know, he seems to slow down in that second round. Now, if you're a guy that slows down and you're fighting Merab Dvalishvili, then I wish you all the luck in the world, because Merab is the complete opposite. This guy doesn't slow down. You know, he gets more crazy as the fight goes on. You know, his octagon name is The Machine. And he really does operate like a machine, you know. This guy's cardio is endless. Takedown after takedown if he needs it. Now, would it be better if he can get one takedown and then secure it? Yeah, it would. But the fact that if he doesn't secure the takedown, he'll get the takedown again. That's impressive. There's only one way that I can picture Marlon Moraes winning this matchup, and it's a TKO. Round 1, maybe round 2, but I think it would have to be round 1. Marlon Moraes has to TKO Merab in round 1. If he doesn't, maybe Merab even gets his first finish inside the UFC. You know, if Marlon slows down round 2, round 3, Merab with the ground and pound or the improved jiu-jitsu, yeah, I'm going to take Merab. My numbers, I would put Merab around minus 250, it's got to be. And the actual numbers, we've got Merab Dvalishvili minus 250. Yeah, for me, man, it's got to be the Georgian. You know, this guy with the endless takedowns. I can't see Marlon winning unless it's that flash TKO, which has happened a couple of times. You know, he sent Aljamain to another world. He kind of sent Jimmy Rivera to the same world as Aljo. It's not impossible. I just think it would have to happen in round 1, which both of those knockouts did. They happened in round 1. Yeah, I'm going to go with the takedowns of Merab. Alright, my homies, you know what time it is. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, triple amen, gang. Let's go. Hey, I hope all of you guys are doing well, doing blessed, having a good day, having a good week, man. Man, I've got quite a few things to say on this smoke break, and I don't want to make the smoke break like 10 minutes long, so I'm going to try get through all of it real quick. Firstly, this is my Instagram, @UFCLay. This is my Patreon, where I'm going to be placing all of my bets. UFC GA. Hey, shout out to all of the bros on Patreon, man. We should have had an even better card last week. You know, we hit Eon Q Talaba. We hit Tafon and Chukwi. We failed on Impa Kasunganai, which was our only losing play. Now, the final play was Helai Alateng, which I feel like that one should have cashed. You know, if he didn't grab the fence... Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, UFC 266. For sure we're laying down some bets on this one. Now, a few things that I want to say. I was supposed to have merchandise on this breakdown, but I'm still working on the designs. So unfortunately, there's no merchandise when it was planned to be. But yeah, we're still going to get merchandise done. Most likely on the next pay-per-view. Now, one thing I want to mention. This whole week, guys, well, the whole of last week, I've been training with Arnold Allen, man, and this guy, his work ethic is just insane. It's insane. But yeah, man, really enjoyed that all week. And just before we get into the smoke break topic, I want to tell you a funny story. The funny story isn't from training or anything like that. Basically, guys, there's some construction going on outside my house. You may hear that during this video, like you may hear them with the hammer and that. But yeah, there's some construction going on outside my house. Now, the funny thing is, I got super baked the other day, right? Super baked, not just baked. I'm talking super baked, right? And I was that high that I heard this language, right? And this language is not a language I've ever heard in my life. But because I was that high, I was thinking, man, there's no way you're hearing that language. There's no way, you know, how high are you really? Turns out the construction workers are Japanese. Oh yeah, so yeah. Got that high, man, got a bit paranoid, but nah, it's all cool, man. They're Japanese. Now, the smoke break topic for this one, guys. I came up with this one a couple days ago, and I wanna stick with this smoke break topic. The difference between motivation, inspiration, and discipline, right? The difference between those two. See, a lot of us are looking for motivation and inspiration, right? We're looking for that all the time. And it's cool, you know, it's cool to be inspired, to be motivated by a lot of different things, a lot of different people too, right? But motivation and inspiration is going to get you started, right? It's going to get you onto the track. It doesn't keep you on the track. That's the difference. See, motivation and inspiration is going to get you going, but discipline, man, is equally as important as being inspired, as being motivated. If anything, man, it might be more. It might be more important than being inspired, right? So yeah, guys, that's what I want to mention for the topic this week. We always look for inspiration and motivation. Some days we feel it, some days we don't. But the one thing that we don't mention often is discipline. Being disciplined, man, doing something when you don't want to do it. You know, when that workout comes and you think, man, I don't want to do it today, but you do it. That's discipline. That's what keeps you on the track. Motivation gets you on the track. Discipline keeps you on the track. You know, Mike Tyson said, do what you hate to do, but do it like you love it, because you're nothing without discipline. You know, those are cold words. Do what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. And even Nick Diaz, who's on this card, you know, he said famously one time, in order for me to love fighting, I need to hate it. You know, that's a level of discipline. You know, he's so disciplined that he hates it at this point. Mike Tyson said, do what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That's discipline, guys. So yeah, inspiration, motivation, pretty cool. Discipline, way cooler. Alright, my homies, let's get into breaking down this main card. Let's go, man. UFC 266, let's go. Alright guys, so starting this main card, we've got Jessica Andrade taking on Cynthia Calvillo. Man, I've got to be honest, I way prefer Jessica Andrade in this matchup. You know, there's so many advantages for Jessica Andrade. You look at the experience difference. Jessica has 30 pro fights. If you're looking at who's the better striker, it's Jessica Andrade. If you're looking at who's been a former champion, who's fought the better competition, Jessica Andrade. The only place you could really consider Cynthia Calvillo better than Jessica is on the mat, right? It's the jiu-jitsu. That's really what Cynthia Calvillo is. She's a jiu-jitsu fighter. I remember she choked out Joanne Calderwood in Scotland, and she's talking about the mat is my ocean and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, she wants to choke out the opponent. The only problem is Jessica Andrade, her grappling isn't exactly bad. Now, when you look at what Valentina did to Jessica, some people might question and say, you know, maybe her grappling isn't the best. But that's Valentina Shevchenko, you know, arguably one of the very greatest female mixed martial artists to ever do it. Is Cynthia Calvillo gonna put Jessica Andrade in the crucifix position? Probably not. I don't see how Cynthia can win this one. You know, she has to submit Jessica, and if that doesn't happen, she's just gonna get outworked, outclassed. So yeah, I'm gonna side with Jessica Andrade. Maybe inside the distance. If not, most likely a dominant decision. My numbers, I'm going to go minus 250 on Jessica Andrade. And the actual numbers, we've got Jessica minus 275, minus 300. Yeah, it's difficult not to pick Jessica in this one. Cynthia Calvillo, man, the only place I can see her winning is jiu-jitsu. And if you're having trouble grappling with Jessica you're going to have trouble grappling with Jessica Andrade. So yeah, that's the pick. Alright homies, moving into Curtis Blaydes taking on Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Man, I'm going to be so baked for the no-gi jiu-jitsu tonight. My goodness. Alright, so Curtis Blaydes, arguably the best wrestler in the heavyweight division. The only problem this man has is he'll win a few matchups and then he gets slept. He gets slept by Francis Ngannou. He gets slept by Derek Lewis. Both of these guys are known for sleeping you, right? Jairzinho Rozenstruik is one of these guys, man. He's a Derek Lewis. He's a Francis Ngannou. He's known for putting you down with those rocks, yeah? So that's what I'm looking at here, man. You know Curtis Blaydes is the better athlete. You know he's the better wrestler. You know he probably should take down Jairzinho. And maybe even get a ground and pound stoppage or a submission. But all you can see in your mind is Curtis Blaydes falling to the mat, stiff, asleep, in another realm. And then you picture Jairzinho putting these guys down too. It makes you nervous to put your money on it, right? My prediction, guys, I'm going to take Curtis Blaydes. But like I just explained, I'm too nervous to lay money on this one. I know exactly what Jairzinho Rozenstruik wants to do. And he's only got to land one, man. He's only got to land one. And we know what happens to Curtis Blaydes. Pick if you dare, man. If you pick Curtis, you want to see that takedown entry real quick. If you pick Jairzinho, you're just going to be watching thinking, I just need one. I just need one, Curtis Blaydes. For the heavyweight division, it's a fire matchup. I'm going to take Curtis Blaydes to get that takedown. You need that takedown, Curtis. And ideally, we need to keep it on the mat too. My numbers, I'd put Curtis around minus 200. And the actual numbers, we've got Curtis minus 300. I mean, you know, if the takedown comes, we're minus 300 and more. If we're on the feet, it's sweaty. It's really sweaty. I hope you can do it, Curtis. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Hey, my homies. Robbie Lawler taking on Nick Diaz, man. What is it? 17, 18 years later, we get the rematch. Unbelievable. What a time to be alive, man. And obviously, it's over 7 fire matchups now. I'm sparking up for this one. This is the 8th fire matchup on this card, in my opinion. Alright, man. In my opinion, this one I'm most looking forward to. I know you've got like the main event, Alex against Ortega, Valentina. You've got some really decent prelims. But in my opinion, just what I'm favouring, I'm looking forward to this fight the most. Robbie Lawler, the ruthless one, the legend, the OG, taking on, don't be scared, homie, Nick Diaz. Oh my goodness, man. What a time to be alive, G. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it real. Can Robbie Lawler win this matchup? Absolutely. Can Nick Diaz, the older bro, win the rematch? Can he, he won the first one. Can he do it again? Yo, absolutely he can. Robbie Lawler, 39 years old, Nick Diaz, 38. We haven't seen Nick Diaz inside the octagon in over 6 years, which is crazy. But he's been training, right? He's been boxing. He's been getting ready. Not getting ready to come back and win the title. He's not going to be a champion. But he wants to make a final appearance maybe. And this is unbelievable. I can't wait for this matchup. You're going to listen to many predictions this week and people are going to give you what they believe the story of this matchup is. For me, guys, I think Robbie Lawler can sleep Nick Diaz because he's been out for over 6 years. But at the same time, I also think Nick Diaz can rock up and just hit Robbie Lawler with those 20% jabs like he does, like the Diaz brothers do. They're not trying to hit you with Francis Ngannou punches. They're just trying to touch you, constantly touch you, and it's such an annoying style to fight against. Now, Robbie Lawler may get in there with the mindset, look, people are here to see Nick Diaz. People paid for the pay-per-view to see Nick Diaz. I'm going to knock him out. And then you get a complete brawl between these two guys and anything happens. But if Robbie Lawler doesn't catch Nick Diaz, doesn't put him out, I think we're going to see Nick Diaz just implement that style that we're used to. touching you with those 20% shots. Guys, I smoke on this channel, man. I do the smoke breaks. I don't really pick Nate Diaz, but I'm going to pick Nick Diaz. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. So, yeah. Hey, train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night. All day. Let's go, Nick Diaz. My numbers, man, you got to keep them close, obviously. I'd put Nick Diaz minus... I'm going to put him minus 130. Robbie Lawler plus 100. Or maybe you reverse that, but either way, I'm keeping it close, you know. And the bookies have... Yeah, they've got the minus 110 each side. You know, same thing, guys. Make a pick if you dare. And I may just do that. Nick Diaz, man. Let's go. Alright, guys. Co-main event between Valentina Shevchenko and Lauren Murphy. Now, this one, man, it's Valentina Shevchenko, so you could spark up. But I'm not gonna because... it's not exactly fire matchmaking. Valentina is arguably the best female mixed martial artist we've got. But this isn't good matchmaking. And that's not to say that Lauren Murphy doesn't deserve the opportunity. You know, if you look at her record, she's put together 5 wins in a row. So she does deserve to fight Valentina. But I'm just extremely confident that the winning streak is over for Lauren Murphy. It's not any downplay on Lauren. You know, she's a strong grappler. She's a brawler. She really fights with a lot of heart. But Valentina Shevchenko is just 10 times the fighter Lauren Murphy is. You know, you've got to look at Valentina, man, and ask yourself, why is this girl so good? Oh, she looks like she's out of a movie. She's that good. No disrespect to Lauren Murphy, but she doesn't look like she's out of a movie. She's not going to smack you with a head kick at like 60 miles an hour. Valentina Shevchenko will. You know, Lauren Murphy's a good grappler, but she's not going to get you into the crucifix position. Valentina Shevchenko will. At this point, the UFC is just giving matchups to Valentina like, yo, we want you to finish the fight. We know you're going to win, but we want you to finish the fight. And I think she does. You know, I'd be very surprised if Lauren Murphy could go 25 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes. But 25, yeah, what a performance Lauren Murphy would have to put in. So my prediction's going to be Valentina Shevchenko inside the distance. It's just a mismatch. You know, it's like I said, it's not a downplay on Lauren because she's putting these wins together. It's just you're fighting someone who is alien. My numbers, I would have to go minus 800, minus 900, something crazy like that. And the actual numbers, minus 1,500. Oh my goodness. Let's get to the main event, man. I wish all the luck for lucky Lauren Murphy. But yeah, it's Valentina for me. Alright, my homies, main event. Make sure you Hamzat smash the like button if you haven't already. We've got Alexander Volkanovski taking on T-City Brian Ortega. Alright, man, this is a fire matchup, right? Alexander Volkanovski has proven how good he is. If you fight Max Holloway twice and you've got 2 wins over Max Holloway, you're the real deal. Now, Max Holloway claimed that he won the first fight and he claimed he won the second one. He definitely didn't win the first one. And man, the second one is close. The first 2 rounds are definitely to Max Holloway. If you can find a round either 3, 4 or 5 for Max Holloway, then he definitely won the second one. But yeah, man, the great Alexander Volkanovski, you know, went to Rio de Janeiro and basically dominated Jose Aldo. TKO Chad Mendes. Yeah, he's proven himself time and time again. He's such a competitor. You know, I can't think of too many rounds where Alexander Volkanovski has actually lost that round. You know, almost like a Khabib, really. Now, the opponent, the challenger, Brian Ortega, primarily a jiu-jitsu assassin. You know, if you make a mistake grappling with Brian Ortega, or even grapple with Brian Ortega, good chance you're going to get submitted. You know, he's got submissions over Renato Moicano, Cub Swanson, TKO'd Frankie Edgar in brutal fashion. And against the zombie, you know, we have to speak about that one. How many of us expected that improved striking from Brian Ortega? You know, most of us were breaking that one down thinking there's no way Brian Ortega's going to be able to stand with the Korean zombie. And man, he did. He stood with him and he taught him a lesson. Smacked him with an elbow, just schooled him with the jab. Yeah, the striking from Brian Ortega looked impressive. Now he's going to need that against Alexander Volkanovski, because like I said, how many rounds has Volkanovski really dropped? You know, he doesn't make many mistakes and he's just a high level competitor. Brian Ortega has only lost one time in his career and he got absolutely obliterated by Max Holloway. Volkanovski has also only lost one time in his career. So that's what you've got, man. You've got a fire matchup between these two guys. Can Brian Ortega be the first man to submit Volkanovski? Be the first man to hand him a loss inside the UFC? But on the flip side, could Volkanovski prove again why he's the rightful champion? You know, such a well-rounded guy. Takedowns, low kicks, getting on the inside, clinch against the fence. His all-rounded game is spot on. Really, really fire matchup, but I'm gonna side... Man, and Brian Ortega is one of my favourite fighters too. But I'm gonna side with the great Alexander Volkanovski. I just think, guys, over 25 minutes, Volkanovski is gonna outcompete Brian Ortega. If Brian Ortega wants to win this one, I think it has to be a magical moment. It's got to be a submission, a TKO, and no one's done that to Volkanovski yet. The reason why it's such a fire matchup, Brian Ortega is good enough to be the first. That's why we can't miss this one. My prediction's going to be the champion and still just to outcompete Brian Ortega. My numbers, I'd put Volkanovski at least minus 200. And we've got Volkanovski minus 170. So right now we've got way more money on Brian Ortega, which is the plus side in this championship fight. But I think the plus side is the losing side. Unless there's a magical moment. So we'll see. Alright guys, leave down your straight plays, your doubles, parlays, props, all of that good stuff. And guys, remember, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Mac Miller. Peace.